Welcome back to LIBCAST, the library podcast, hosted by the Library, University of Kelaniya, Sri Lanka.
Hello and welcome to Neural Nexus Daily, the series from LIBCAST where we explore the intersection of information, technology, and our world. It's hard to believe that it's been less than 4 months since OpenAI unleashed ChatGPT on the world. It feels like we've been talking about generative artificial intelligence, or AI, forever. The release was a masterclass in going viral. All over social media, you saw screenshots of these conversations. Some were eerie, some were occasionally just plain wrong, but all of them were fascinating. And almost immediately, a wave of anxiety washed over higher education. We were all suddenly confronted with the very real possibility that our familiar tools of assessment, essays, reports, problem sets, could be rendered obsolete overnight. Most of the discussion has been about students. But what about the scholars, the researchers, the academics themselves? So far, the conversation in that realm has been narrow, mostly focused on a very specific question: can ChatGPT be listed as a co-author on a research paper? It's not a theoretical question. After at least 4 instances where the chatbot was credited as an author, major publishers had to draw a line. Both Science and Springer Nature have now prohibited the practice. This just shows you how fast the ground is shifting. Norms are being created in real time. But even here, there's no consensus. The editor-in-chief of Science, for example, argued that any text produced by ChatGPT should be considered plagiarism. Meanwhile, Nature has taken a different path, allowing its use as long as it's clearly documented. These early debates are setting the stage for what's to come. And with the release of the even more powerful GPT-4 and its integration directly into Microsoft Office, these discussions are about to go into overdrive. But the question of authorship, while important, points to something much deeper. It forces us to ask, why would an academic want an AI to co-author a paper in the first place? What does that say about the state of academic publishing today? For generations, academics have lived by a single, ruthless mantra: publish or perish. Your career, your funding, your reputation, it all hinges on your output. So, what happens when a technology arrives that promises to automate huge chunks of that very process? Is there a risk that the ability to automate writing will simply lead to more writing? More pressure? Before we can even answer that, we have to grapple with the sheer scale of academic output as it is. One estimate from 2015 suggested about 2.5 million articles were being published per year. A later study from 2018 found that number in science and engineering fields alone. That study also highlighted staggering growth rates, from around 0.7% in the UK and US to nearly 8% in China and almost 11% in India over a decade. Now, of course, this isn't just about pressure. It's also about the global growth of research and the interconnectedness that digital publishing allows. But the pressure is real. So, let's play this out. If we accept that generative AI can speed up the writing process, and it can, then it dramatically increases how many papers a person or a team can produce in the same amount of time. Imagine what those annual output numbers could look like in a world where AI is a routine part of scholarly work. This brings us to a crossroads. And at this crossroads is a fundamental question that, in my experience, academics can be weirdly inarticulate about. Why do we publish? For many, the honest answer is, because it's what we're expected to do. It's what our employers demand, what the funding bodies count. In our quantified, metric-driven academic world, it's far too easy for publications to become an end in themselves, just another number on a CV. These are the exact conditions where a technology that can supercharge your output becomes incredibly seductive. And this is where we face a choice. If this technology is adopted in a purely individualistic way, If each academic grabs onto it as a lifeline to cope with the immediate pressures and anxieties of their institution, the consequences could be disastrous. We could see a tsunami of low-quality, AI-assisted papers flooding journals, devaluing research, and cranking up the pressure even higher. But there is another path. What if we, as a community, use this moment to pause and reflect? To ask not just if we can use this technology, but what we should use it for and why. What if we used AI not to write more, but to write better? To automate the soul-crushing, routine tasks, like formatting citations, writing literature review summaries, or drafting the boilerplate methods sections, freeing up precious time and mental energy for the actual, deep, creative thinking. This could be an opportunity to escape the hamster wheel of endless output and rediscover a more creatively fulfilling life of the mind. The choice isn't really about the AI. It's about us. Will we let it amplify the worst aspects of our current academic culture, or will we use it as a tool to build a better one? The answer will define the future of scholarship. That's all the time we have for today on Neural Nexus Daily. Thanks for tuning in to LIBCAST. What do you think? Is AI a threat or a promise for academia? Let us know on our social channels. Join us next time as we continue to navigate our complex digital world.
And that brings us to the end of this episode of LIBCAST. Thank you so much for tuning in and spending your valuable time with us today. We hope this conversation has sparked your curiosity and given you something new to think about. We're incredibly proud to be Sri Lanka's first ever university library podcast, brought to you by the team here at the Library of the University of Kelaniya. Our goal is to keep bringing you insightful discussions, stories, and knowledge. If you enjoyed this episode, please help us grow by following us. You can find LIBCAST on all major podcast platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podcast Guru, Podchaser, Amazon Music, and wherever else you get your podcasts. Until next time, keep reading, keep learning, and stay curious.